Okay, I apologize. I guess I forgot to share the right window. So here's the syllabus, and syllabus again has my contact information. Here's my office location, which is at 179 Longwood Avenue in Boston. And here's the grading protocol, as I mentioned, graded assignments, term paper and presentation, and then 5 quizzes. I will drop your lowest quiz score. And if you do an exceptionally good job on the term paper and presentation, I'll count that for more than 15%. So it'll be a bonus for those of you who do an exceptional job there. And the graded assignments, basically, I'll post those on Blackboard most weeks, and basically you can do those an unlimited amount of times, and it'll help you to get ready for the quizzes that you'll see. Okay. So this week, we're going to do a basic introduction about managerial accounting, cost concepts, and so I'll record some lectures, and then we will have a special topic called the U.S. healthcare cost crisis, which will be so if you go to the Blackboard, so let me just give me a minute to find that on my screen here. Go to the Blackboard in week 1. What you'll find is some folders I've set up. So the learning objectives, and then the topics that we're going to cover. So if you open up the U.S. healthcare cost and outcome crisis, you'll see there's several, they're really short clips here that I've recorded that I'd like you to go through. And it'll give you some perspective about what people are often referring to as the cost crisis that exists in the U.S. healthcare system. So a crisis also creates an opportunity. And so the opportunity is that for those of us who have the right tools and perspective, we might be able to make a positive impact in helping to alleviate the crisis and thus to reduce overall costs in some areas. And that's one of the things that I think there's a compelling and growing need for. So, all right, so this kind of shows you the folder structure we have. That we'll have 10 weeks, and I've developed the material for all 10 weeks, but I'll start to open them up towards the end of each week. I'll open up the next week's material. And okay, so let's go back and look at the syllabus for a minute, because there are a couple of things in here I want to talk about. So every week we'll have the basic managerial accounting discussion, and then a special topic. So for example, next week we'll talk about costing systems, and we'll talk about lean. So for those of you who have taken other courses with me, whether that be operations management or some other course, then you may have heard me talk about lean. Lean is a quality and improvement process, and it's being talked a lot about in the accounting world as a way to eliminate waste. And so we'll take a look at that. And then we'll move on to activity-based costing, and then some ideas about how to solve the healthcare cost crisis, and so forth. So you see, each week I've outlined the basic topic in managerial accounting, and then the special topic as it relates to healthcare. And so every other week we'll have a quiz. There'll be graded assignments most weeks, not all weeks, and that will help you to get ready for the quizzes. So as I've said, and I'll continue to say throughout the semester, my primary role is to be here to help you with your course work and to achieve your goals. So you should feel free to reach out to me via email, phone call, or office visit, so that all your questions are answered in a timely fashion. So you'll see in the week 9 time frame, we'll have a term paper and presentation. So at the end of the syllabus, I've outlined what I'd like you to do for the term paper. So basically, it's to pick an area, and I've suggested some topics here, possible topics, although I'm open to other ideas. But I want you to pick a topic as it relates to U.S. healthcare costs, and then think about how we can use that particular topic to help improve the healthcare cost situation, crisis, as many people refer to it, in the U.S. And so the expectation is that you'll have picked a topic no later than the start of week 4, and that I want a 5 to 7 page paper on the approved topic is due to me by the start of week 9, and then I will schedule brief webcasts during week 9 and 10 where you present and discuss your major findings and insights for the topic that you've selected. Okay, so that's part of the discussion and grading that we're going to see. Okay, so what I would encourage you to do is go through the syllabus, make sure you know where we're going, okay. All right, so let's take a look at the week 1 materials. So I have to share a new window here, so just bear with me 1 second. I have too many things open on my desktop right now, but I think this is the window I want. Yep, so let's go back to the week 1 folder. And what you'll see here is the U.S. healthcare cost and outcome crisis. I don't think this is a surprise to anybody, but I want you to, as educated people, to have some facts around the extent of the problem that exists in the U.S. related to U.S. healthcare costs. Within a few years, 1 of every $5 that the average American spends is going to be on healthcare-related items, and that's a little more than double what most other industrialized countries spend. And if the outcomes were phenomenal, then people might be willing to accept that. But as it turns out, the outcomes in the U.S. are not as good as they are in other countries. But yet we're spending an excessive amount on healthcare. So that's the problem, but that's also the opportunity. So I want to start the course by having you become aware of the problem, the discussion around the problem, and then over time, I'd like you to think about some ideas about how we can improve things. So this whole discussion here centers on that issue. Okay, so I'd like you to go through that portion of it, and then the next slide is overview of managerial accounting. So I'm going to do a separate lecture on this, but basically, one set of slides here talks about what managerial accounting is. So and so I think that that is something that we need to know, right? So we have a general idea as to what the role of the management accounting is, and what their impact is in organizations, and so forth. Okay, and then the last topic of the week will be when cost matters. And again, I'm going to post a lecture on that as well, but that's going to give you some general idea in terms of the overall ideas around some of the tools that are available when cost is an important part of an organization. So you might think that for every organization, cost is critical. But as it turns out, when we look at organizations, they tend to focus either on product differentiation or on cost leadership. And so when a firm is in the cost leadership mode, cost is essential. And so cost really matters. When a firm is really competing based on differentiation, whether they're technology leader or marketing advantages or some other reason that they can differentiate themselves, service, etc., then cost tends not to be the main objective. So it's not that it's not important, but it's not a main focus. So we want to distinguish between those two things, and then we'll talk about some of the tools when cost matters, how to look at cost, and how to hopefully manage it to the desired outcome. Okay, so overall, what's going to happen this semester is I'd like you to leave the semester with a solid understanding of what management accounting is, what the management accounting profession can do to help any organization, whether it be a for-profit, nonprofit, service, manufacturing, to help them make better decisions, to improve their cost structures, and then to intertwine in that some of the key tools and concepts as they relate to healthcare. And so that those are some of our main objectives. So at the end of the day, we'll bite it off in relatively small pieces. Every week we'll cover a couple of topics. And so I hope that you find the course enjoyable. I think you'll find it, relatively interesting. I think the topics, in my view, anybody who wants to be a leader, a manager, a key decision maker in an organization should know something about costs and the tools that will help us to better manage costs. And that's really a key part of what this course is about. Okay, so again, any questions, concerns, feedback that you might have, please email me, call me, and I'm happy to, do whatever I can to be available to you. Okay, so looking forward to working with you all, and